And we are recording
Yeah, baby.
episode 14. Yeah, buddy. Good to see you, mate.
Good to see
How
you
the
too, brother.
devil are you?
I am very well, brother. Very well. Had my first viral infection in like 8 years. It only lasted like 4 days. I moved through them quite quickly. But dude, it knocked me out. Like day one was my throat. Day two was my nose. Day three was my eyes. And my face was all puffy. Day four went back to my nose and then went. So it's all gone.
Interesting.
But mate, I think it's to do with I mean, it's interestingly, it happened around the full moon. So
Okay.
there was obviously some energetic purge that needed to go on. Dude, do you know what it was? I don't care about the symptoms. I've never felt so tired in my life. I thought I hadn't slept for about a month. Like every
Really?
second I sat down, I was nodding off. And if I was sleeping, bro, I was gone. Like my deep sleep was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. I was getting
How
like 9
funny.
hours sleep. It was
Interesting.
insane.
Well,
Insane.
I know it's interesting you say that because I was like you before Christmas, before we went to, all before New York. I had a bit of a sniffle over New York, but I presume that was because of the plane and
Hmm.
the poor airflow
Yeah.
because you're in a pressurized air cabin. But before then, same to you, it sort of wiped me out for about seven days, maybe 10 days, because similar symptoms to you, sort of moved from like nose, then sore throat, no sore throat, then nose, then chest, tiredness. But by my research understanding, it was actually rhinovirus was sort of doing a bit of a
Oh,
recirculation. Because
interesting.
hey, for the last 4 years, right, it's just COVID. You just got to blame everything on COVID. Oh, you got a cold? Yeah, you better do a PCR check, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's COVID.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
well, what happened to the flu variation? What happened to rhinovirus? What happened to all these other variants that have been around way before COVID was invented and knocked up in a lab? So,
Oh, mate,
yeah.
it's just madness nowadays with people, that kind of stuff. It's just like, oh, my knee's hurting. It's got to be COVID.
Yeah.
I missed my train, clearly COVID. It's like, come
Yeah.
on. Like there
Yeah.
was so many more. Before then, it was just cold or flu.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be named. Doesn't need to be names. It's just cold or flu. The symptoms are roughly similar. One makes you hungry, one doesn't. So listen to what your body wants you to do. My body just craved carbs. Didn't like the idea of protein or anything like that, or any fats, eggs. I was like, no, because when it got into my nose, I couldn't taste anything. So egg was just like slop, and I was like, I can't eat this. So I just was having carbs. So that's what I was just making myself some nice rice pudding. I was having like some mashed potatoes and things, just basically what my body wanted. And I wasn't giving it anything it didn't want. I was thirsty as hell. And weirdest thing, again, haven't had this for about 30 odd years. I was
Yeah.
craving a cup of English breakfast tea and a biscuit. Like random, bruv. Like I've not had a cup of tea since I was probably about 10. And
Yeah.
I've not had a digestive in I don't know how many years. And I was just like, no, I'm going to Waitrose and I'm going to go, look at me all posh. I'm going to Waitrose. That's my local supermarket. I'm going to go to Waitrose and I'm going to grab some English tea. And I ordered some like sourdough digestives. I was like, I'm just going to eat them. So I just sat here dunking and eating them. I was like, that's all I fancy. And so I just gave my body what it wanted. I slept a ton
Yeah.
and I was gargling and inhaling thieves oil. That was it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and everyone's
Interesting.
like, oh, you can't gargle thieves oil. Yes, you can. Yes, you can gargle thieves
Pretty
oil.
powerful shit, isn't it? Because it's
Hey,
got
thieves
clove.
oil is incredible.
Yeah, we've got it as a
Incredible.
cleaner. I think it's Young Living.
Yeah, Young Living.
My first sort of um, first bottle and almost getting upsold into another element that I didn't want to get involved with, but they actually do very good essential oil, so I will
They,
give them their credit.
they do.
Yeah, yeah, it was such a good cleaner, very powerful. I remember mixing it with vinegar, and it
Oof.
stinks, but
Yeah,
it does work
it does.
absolutely.
It does.
But interesting, you gargled it.
Yeah,
Very
gargled
cool.
it. And I swear to
Yeah,
God, within one day of gargling it, it completely moved from my throat to my nose. And then I
yeah,
was inhaling it and gargling it. And then it moved to my eyes. And I obviously wasn't putting it in my eyes, but I just kept inhaling it and gargling it. And then, and then it was gone. So thieves oil for me, like if it was strong enough for the plague, well, then it's good
yeah,
enough for a flu or a virus, whatever the hell that was. And I'm still
yeah,
gargling it now because obviously with the it being in my throat still feels it sounds raspy rather than my normal dulcet tones, so I'm still gargling it twice a day, but it does the job. Like, I'm thinking, why not? And obviously at this season where they're injecting every muggle with a flu virus jab, which has no mates, I just don't get why people do this. I really don't. Oh, I've had 2 flu shots. Well done. What do you want, a medal? Like, come on. Like, it's not clear. It's clearly not getting rid of it, because now everyone's getting it because you got injected with it. Like, anyway.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
so I was like, right, I'm just going to keep a couple of bottles of thieves oil, put them in my essential oil burners, just have them going on all the time. And yeah, all's good.
yeah. Amazing.
But I have to
So yeah.
say, brother, your teeth are looking incredible.
Oh, thank you, sir. Hey,
Looking
thank you.
really good.
They're
Nice
getting
and
there.
white and straight.
Yeah, they're getting there. Thank you. So we started this journey. February last year. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was February last year.
it's a year.
Yeah, the biological dentistry. And we did talk about this last year briefly. But for those who are new, they're like, what the hell is biological dentistry? It's basically like what we do from the functional health side, but in dentistry. So essentially, there wasn't many biological dentistry practices near where I live here in Ely, Cambridgeshire. The nearest one was Saffron Walden, so where I am, Cambridgeshire, a little bit further afield, or London, or you go all the way up north.
I'll go and see Seb. Yeah.
Yeah, but their sort of waiting list is ridiculous. You know, time is of the essence. So started it, funny enough, before Christmas, so 2024, because I had originally an appointment with my dentist to have an assessment, which is very, very important. If you don't assess, you're guessing. So we had an assessment, a biological assessment, had an X-ray, and looked at how healthy the gums are, how healthy the bone density is. Have you had any sort of wisdom teeth removal? And fun fact, if you had wisdom teeth removal and you haven't had a proper protocol to go alongside that, you're then at risk for sort of like lack of bone density around the back, which can infiltrate and cause gut health issues, FYI. So yeah, I might have opened a can of worms for you guys listening, but very, very important to get your oral health in check before you start any health journey, if I'm honest. So did all that, and turns out that you got toxic silver filling at the back. When I was a kid, I only had one filling, so I did pretty well. But to save my parents some money, I went and had a silver filling instead of I think it was like a composite filling or whatever that was when I was little. But basically, you had to have that safely removed. So there's a whole technique where you've got to have oxygen, because obviously it may or may not have mercury. There's a big thing right now about it, guys. So do your research on this, but you need it safely removed, and it isn't cheap. But hey, if you prioritize your health, you don't see it as a cost. You see it as like, get the hell out, because there's neurological disorders, there's cognitive problems, and it causes all sorts of nasty things that I won't go into. But I did see a big difference, and I could tell when I had that done originally and had that removed, like the tooth, when we took the old filling out, was starting to decay. So we removed the bacteria because it was foul, like it was awful, and cleaned all of it out, and then put a compatible biological, like a bit like hydroxyapatite with the a substance that can naturally remineralize the tooth. So it stops the decay, and obviously through good nutrition and whatnot, you can heal from the inside out, right? So had all that done first, had the assessment, removal of the silver filling, all good. Now we start the dental practice, because obviously if teeth are moving, you got osteoblasts and osteoclasts going on. The teeth are moving. If you haven't got healthy gums and healthy bone, well, good luck getting your teeth straightened, basically, because it will cause all sorts of problems. This is why we should possibly bring one of our dentists on, Mark, if I'm honest, because
I think we should.
We were discussing my last time I was there about the massive complications that people do at the minute with turkey teeth. So people are like my age and your age, where they are having their teeth filed down to like little vampire piranha teeth, and having these sort of veneers put on, and they are basically rotting your real teeth away and causing, it's like one client had necrosis of the jaw, So like the jaw was starting to decay, starting to infiltrate the nose, like some horrendous stories from having this done. So please, make sure you are, if you are doing this route, that you start in a really healthy place first, because yeah, I feel like it's not being talked about enough, and we have clients that obviously come to us with gut health challenges and health issues and various problems, but it's one of those things where you would miss this. So I feel like we do need to talk about it and bring a possible dentist on. But my dentist, Dr. Anka, she's wicked. She was very straight from the get go, like, oh, they are very crowded, Joe. So we'll see what we can do. I'm going to be honest with you, but we sort of work alongside another company like Visalign, but it's Smile Line, who we went with, who are partnered up with that dentist that I go to, and it's the same thing, but they do a 3D map of your teeth. So I had this like wand of Wicked, you see like on screen,
Yeah,
like,
I've had that
building
done.
out your teeth. It's like, what the hell? This is nuts.
Yeah.
And then you wait a couple of weeks, they send that off and basically map out with AI that how many trays it's going to take for you to get a really straight smile. And lo and behold, oh, it's come back. It's going to take you 22 or 24 trays. Each one you got to wear for 2 weeks, and come back on certain trays to get like more gaps removed, so your teeth can sort of create space to move again. But it can be done. So I went ahead with it, and hey, like it's yeah,
Looks
yeah,
really
everything.
good.
Jaw posture, because obviously your tongue position. I'm probably going to open Pandora's box. Your tongue plays a big role in your posture, guys. And also, if that tongue position is off by a little bit, it'll throw your vestibular system, which is your eyes and ears and brain are all connected, that keep you this equilibrium. It could throw off issues down below, right? So injuries, prone to injuries, and your feet and all sorts of issues. So funny fact that all that has improved. My breathing has improved. My results in the gym have also improved. So feel and look possibly the best I have, and like a built muscle easier as well. But we'll save that for another time. Yeah, it's been wild since I've done it, and also it's your confidence, because I spent a lot of years not smiling in photos. Like, I don't know if you guys are watching this on the YouTube, but like hiding, yeah, hiding behind a smile, and now I'm like a Cheshire cat. I can't stop smiling. Look forward to doing more public speaking, because this shit can really hold you back. And the same thing for, I guess, for people who are overweight and out of shape.
Mm.
You know, same thing there. You're insecure and don't want to smile and don't want to put yourself out there, but you deserve success. You deserve happiness and deserve to have a body that you're looking your best in. So, in my advice, just fucking make it happen. Yes, there might be a big investment. I've spent quite a bit on this process. The investment has been high, but it's because it was my issue. I didn't wear my retainers when I was a kid. So it's my problem. So we've got to deal with it. But I think it's worth every penny, if I'm honest,
I do.
because you only get one set of teeth,
I do.
and these are real teeth. They're not fake teeth as well. So if you look after them, they'll look after you. But yeah, jaw, biting, everything, nuts. So yeah, thank you, dude.
No, my pleasure, brother.
Big tangent going off on many.
No, but it's
different
it's
rabbit holes.
important. It's important
But
because there's so much of a push, particularly in our field, about microbiome, gut microbiome, and it's like, yeah, okay, we get the gut microbiome is very important, but there's a microbiome everywhere. You've got a skin biome, you've got a nose biome, you've got a oral biome, you've got a
yeah,
vaginal biome, you've got a penile biome. There's biomes everywhere. And if you just focus in on one, again, it becomes very myopic in nature. And
hmm
what makes the oral microbiome quite interesting is, from a microbiome perspective, you're going to be doing a stool test, right? Now, this stool test, the majority of what's going to be coming from there is going to be what's found in the large intestines, because it's going to have to pass through everything else and get squeezed and shaped and filtered and through before it comes out. So you're not going to be getting a full picture of
hmm
everything that's happening in the gut. 50%, 60%, I'd say, something like that. I mean, and there's trillions of bacteria and stuff that you're going to get from a stool sample, but from the oral, it's right there. Like
Yeah.
there's no, because the problem that we have with the microbiome is the fact that they can't go in and scrape the small intestine or scrape the early parts of. So like most, like certain bacteria will hold out in the right side of the colon. Some will hang out on the left descending side. Some are um the upper part of the large intestine. But unless you scrape these areas, you're not going to get them, and they're going to be missed. Where with the oral, it's right there. So
Yeah.
it's literally just collection from there, swab, done. Like you can't
Yeah.
miss anything. And as we say, like health always starts in the mouth. Like if you've got like gingivitis or your gums are bleeding like a lot, or you've got like a lot of plaque build up behind your teeth, or you've got a rotting tooth, whatever, it's not just the fact that you're going to be swallowing this stuff and it's going to be going into the gut for sure. It's also the fact that when you look at the nerve and lymphatic chart, it all comes through here. This is why when you
Yeah.
get a sore throat, all the glands come up down here, because that's the lymph glands that are swelling up. So like everything is connected, and all these nerves and all these lymph points, again, fancy term, interdigitate with the rest of the body because they travel through the body. There's no breakage in there. They just link and carry on. So if there's something happening around here or up here or something, not only is it going to be going up, it's also going to be coming down into the system. And it's such an easy thing to test, you know, like a very good microbiome test or a gut test, like a gut zoom or a GI 360, 400, 500, 600 pounds,
Mm.
150,
Mm.
160 at max.
Yeah.
Well, okay, people are like, yeah, but that's a lot of money. Okay, well, here's the thing. How about for 4 weekends out of your month, don't go out and get drunk, don't go out and buy drugs, and don't go and get takeaways. I guarantee you'll have that money by the end of the month, if not within 2 weeks. It's no, and we've discussed this before, that latte factor, that thing you always buy every single day, which costs you a fiver. Well, you don't do that for 7 days. There's 35 quid.
Yeah.
Add that up now you've got 70. Do that for a month, that's 140 quid. Well, you're only a tenner short of an oral test. It's
Yeah.
not a difficult thing to do. It then comes down to priority. What's more important?
Yeah. Everything has a cost. It can either
Cost.
be that, or you have a 300, £400, upwards of £2,000 wisdom tooth or crown or tooth removal extraction, which is going to cost you way more.
Yep, and you'll
More.
find the money then.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do the hard work now,
Yeah.
and you will reap the
And don't
rewards.
look at it
But
as a cost. It's not a cost, it's an
no.
investment. A cost is like a begrudging payment. Think of
Yeah.
it more as an investment. Like
Hmm.
for us to get our bloods done, for us to do our tests, they don't cost us any less than when it does somebody else. But I look at it as an investment. I
Yeah.
want to know what's going on, and I'd like to spend that money on that. You know, okay, somebody like, yeah, I know I could go on holiday for that. Yeah, you could, but your holiday's not going to make you healthier.
No.
So why not just do this test and see what it's like? You know, you always
Absolutely.
have to look at the case of that opportunity. I was having this conversation with a new client on a call yesterday where I said to him, it's about opportunity cost. You're asking yourself, what are the reasons why I should do this? But then you got to ask yourself the questions, what are the reasons not to?
Yeah.
So whenever there's two options, option A or option B, whichever one you choose, the reason why you've chosen that is because you focused on what happens if I do this. So let's just say, what happens if I choose option A? Okay, that's
Mm.
a great question. But what happens by not doing B?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's opportunity cost. What's the cost of not doing B? Nobody ever asks themselves that question. And that's the question to ask. Like in these situations, is it worth my time? What am I going to get out of it? What's the cost if I don't do this?
Yeah.
That will give you
Absolutely.
your answer, 100%. But dude, I think you've done a fantastic job. I really do.
Yeah. Thank you, dude.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
But how was you had a birthday recently?
I did. So 2 days ago,
Birthday.
45 years old, 45, well, 30,
Yeah, buddy.
45 days around the sun, 45 years, sorry, around the sun on this planet. Don't feel it in any way, shape or form at all, which is fantastic. But as you know, as you get older, but they don't mean less, but you don't necessarily have like jelly and pineapple and cheese on sticks. It's just, well, actually, I had cookies. I had cookies. I didn't
Did
have
they get your
cakes.
face painted, Mark? Did they want to
Say
come around
again?
and paint your face as well?
Come around, payment. Oh, mate, I'd have loved someone to come around and make me look like a tiger or something. I love face paint. It would have been amazing. I just spent the whole day on calls, like looking like a tiger. That'd have been incredible. Or a Smurf. I'd have made myself like have a blue face. I'd be like, sorry, it's a methylene blue that I'm using. It's just dyed my skin.
Yeah, it's not lead. It's not lead paint. Don't worry.
But I had a great birthday, thank you, brother. I went out on the weekend before with my family, with my mum, my dad, my stepdad, my stepmom, just to celebrate my birthday. And again, it wasn't a big thing. It's just like a nice pub lunch. And then yeah, Tuesday I took most of the day off, but I held a couple of calls in the evening because I was like, well,
Yeah,
people want help. And
yeah,
on my birthday, as much as I want to be of service to myself, I still want to be of service to others. So I still had calls in the evening and stuff, but I spent most of the day just like trying to ignore messages and stuff like that. But there's only so much you can do where you're kind of not doing anything. So I was like, well, I want to do something. Otherwise, it's just a day of me not doing anything at all, which is kind of boring.
oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it was fun, dude. I enjoyed it. I was all good. Thank you for asking. So yeah, 45 years on this planet so far and many more to go. Not even
Many,
halfway, yeah?
many more. I know, dude. I know. What cookies did you grab?
Well, these were actually made by my mum.
Oh,
My mum's getting very much more into the healthy baking and cooking generally kind of stuff.
oh,
So there's
cool.
there's a company that I use called Bob's Red Mill. They make really good kind of like gluten-free flours and pancake mixes and stuff. So I was like, Mum, look, I was like, just buy their gluten-free all-purpose flour, buy 100% dark chocolate, get some raw butter, raw cream, whatever it is that you're going to be making. And she went, what do you want? I was like, what do you want? She was like, I really fancy some cookies. She's like, okay. She's like, so I'll get 100% dark chocolate chips. I was like, cool, which she did.
Yeah,
She's like, I've got
yeah.
the gluten-free Bob's Red Mill. I was like, great. She's like, I've got the milk. I was like, great. So she just made me some cookies. And I was like, perfect.
Oh,
Macro wise, they're friendly as hell. There's literally zero fat in them. So they're just basically carbs. It's about 20 grams of carbs a cookie, give or take. So my birthday, I had like 5. So I was like, why not? So I just sat here with like my raw cream, just dunking
oh.
my cookies into my raw cream and just eating them. I was like, this is just heaven. And I put them in the oven at like 80 degrees for about 10 minutes just to warm them up so that they were all like gooey. And then was just dunking them in the cream. I was like, this is life right now.
They are that. I don't know what's about them, but that's probably my favorite thing. Like sweet treat
Yeah.
is a cookie,
Yeah. I
and
love
I've
cookies.
made. I think I made you one. I made
You
you
did.
one, didn't you? Yeah,
Yeah. Your cookies
which
are
we
incredible, dude.
I haven't made them for a while. You
Your,
got me going.
it was your
But
collagen
I
cookies, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah. So you basically you put collagen, um you put gluten free. So like, well, cassava flour heavily used in East Asia and
Cassava flour is amazing.
yeah, cassava flour. So it's very like low. For those listening, we don't really use it over here, but in East Asia, they're very very popular. It's a tuber plant,
Hmm.
but it's very low glycemic,
Hmm.
and used as a very alternative flour. It's like, well, why can't you use almond flour? Well, almond flour for certain individuals might cause certain problems to do with the I forget, not oxalates.
The phytates.
Yes, yeah, yeah, a lot of phytic acid in almonds, isn't it? But it depends on the source. But you going back a bit, you use cassava flour and coconut flour. That's it. So coconut flour is a very, very good flour. Very, very versatile. You just have to get your ratios
Yeah,
right.
you have to get your liquid and flour ratios right, otherwise it goes horribly wrong.
If you combine in, because I've baked with those two flours before. I've made like a birthday cake, I've lemon drizzle cake, pumpkin cakes, all sorts with that. And the ratio is so important. But it took me several attempts to get that ratio right, and I struck gold. But yeah, you combine collagen, these flours, baking soda to make it rise, and then we actually found out that coconut nectar sugar worked better rather than date palm and all sorts of coconut sugar. Yeah, coconut nectar. Oh, buddy. And then you whisk an egg, a lot of butter, a lot of raw butter. Holy shit, it's making me hungry. And then you put your dark chocolate chips. But it doesn't take a lot. Like you don't need a lot of time to make it them like that gooey. Yeah, they're so good, Mark. You got me. I'm gonna possibly knock out some on the weekend.
You got to
But
do
that's
it,
the
bro.
dangerous thing. And I went a little while ago to Cambridge, and first hadn't been there for a long time, but these aren't gluten free. Ben's cookies. Have you tried them? Like a chain,
No.
dude.
Yeah.
They're pretty damn good. They're not gluten free. Obviously, they've got sugar and flour and stuff in, but way better than like your Millie's cookies, high street crap. They're just something about these bad boys are.
Do you know what? You just
Oh,
reminded me. There was a company. I think they're up north somewhere. I can't remember
right.
where exactly, but they're called 42nd East and Bake.
Oh, right.
And I first came across them because one Christmas, it might have been like 2018 or 2019, I ordered their chocolate Yule log for Christmas. Dude, it was like a 1.8 kilo Yule log. It's the biggest Yule log I've ever seen. And these guys don't give a shit about macros and the flowers. It is like the most toxic Yule log you could possibly eat. But mate, I ate the whole bloody thing. I made sure over Christmas I ate the whole thing. It was the best Yule log I've ever had. And they do the most amazing cookies. They do these like if you can't order it, but if you go to their shop, they've got like these jars which are like Biscoff milkshake things with cookies in it, and 42nd Eastern Bake. You just look at their menu on their site and you'll start dribbling. Like, it's insane the stuff these guys make. I'm just like, if I want to be diabetic, I'm going there. 100% I'm going there. If I've like done a prep or something and I need to get some sugar in me, I'm going there.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because I look at like this health timeline that we're all on, and I look back at like a time when I had a bit of not an eating disorder. I'm not trying to label it, but I definitely had binge eating issues that came with it. Primarily from looking back, it's because of a lot of nutrient deficiencies and not really having good gut health or good oral health, or all those things in between. The things that I know now. So I'd quite easily smash a Domino's pizza with a whole pot of Ben and Jerry's and a whole cookies, and wonder why I'd feel inflamed, bloated, all that sort of stuff, but carried on as normal. Now I wouldn't touch those sort of foods. There are like foods like the Ben's cookies, like you said, the Yule log, certain like in our local bakery, which I still need to send you. I completely forgot. I haven't forgot.
I forgot as well.
Sourdough, pano chocolates, the lot, unbelievable. But when you've got your health in order and you are in a routine and you train, you get daily sunlight, you're moving every day, you're a healthy body fat level, you got a lot of better gut health, you don't have any other, like I say, like ailments, a little bit of shit here and there is
It's
not
not going
going
to
to
hurt you.
no, you won't notice it. I
No,
don't feel it
no.
because I just right. I'm gonna go for a walk now. Yeah, gonna go for a walk. Walk
Yep,
it off.
I agree.
Let's walk to the bake shop. It's pano chocolate. I know it's made with pastry. They roll it out, sourdough, good quality, high quality flour. It's butter, and they use the chocolate in the pano chocolate is from Pump Street. It's not some sort of toxic lint bar with
Mm.
lead in it. It's 80-90% dark chocolate rolled. Oh, in the thought of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's what I'm saying. If you sort of done the work, and for those who are listening, will notice.
It's
I
just
do like,
moderation, dude.
yeah, 90-20, 90-10. Everyone talks about 80-20. I think no, I think if you 90% of the time if you eat whole foods, you're getting real meat, real fish, dairy, you're getting, organic where possible, fruit and vegetables,
Hmm.
and you're eating good quality meals. 10% for a little bit of shit, it's not gonna hurt
No.
you. You won't
And
notice it.
interestingly enough, sorry to interrupt you, brother. There's something you sparked a thought in my head that I was having the other day. I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but I remember, and again, I was comparing it to when I used to teach and do CrossFit and stuff. So like, I used to coach like 10, 11 hours a day, train like 2.5 hours a day. So obviously my metabolism was a lot higher. But like you, I could come home and I could have a large pizza, garlic bread, and I don't know, donuts, whatever. And I'd be able to eat the whole thing. Dude, you put a large pizza in front of me. After about 5 slices, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I just
Yeah,
can't eat anymore. But you put like an 8-ounce steak in front of me with like sauteed potatoes and a ton of veg. I'll eat that whole thing. Like, it won't make me feel as full as that pizza would. I guess because there's more nutrients, so you're getting that satiety from a lot of that food. But I that type of food, like pizzas and donuts and cakes and stuff, I can't eat the volume I used to eat.
no.
Like, I just can't do it. I feel sick. Like, I feel overly full and I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I think also because It's changed a hell of a lot, isn't it? Like these companies that there's not real food really. This is the argument that I kind of have with a
Well,
lot of people.
Domino's isn't
Right.
even real cheese.
No, no,
It's not even real. It's not cheese. It's not cheddar. It's not mozzarella. Not the real kind, anyway.
no, no. This is a problem, and you argue with people who have lived that way forever, and like, well, I hadn't noticed. I just don't really notice it. I just need fuel. I'm like, but that's the issue. Like, it will finally, it will catch up with you at some point, like it did with me. And I saw it in my skin. Like, I looked at like old photos of myself in 2018, 2019, before I started the business, and I was eating this like very heavy, if it fits your macros sort of
Oh
lifestyle.
God, if it fits your macros, you're taking back now, bro. My God.
But that's the trouble, isn't it? Like, well, you can still get in shape,
Yeah, you
you
can.
can still eat Halo Top fucking ice cream and, bagels from Warburton's and, what's everyone in the minute? It does my head in. Rice Krispie fucking squares, all this sort of shit. They even sell them at my gym. It does my head in. I've said time and time again, why are we selling junk food to people? And protein bars. Did a bit of content on that a little while ago, but going down a tangent. Let's
No,
see
but
on
it's
the
true,
final.
brother. It's true.
Yeah,
Until you've eaten real food, you don't realize the crap that you're actually putting in. And do you know, it's funny because when I was leaving the gym on Tuesday, they were giving out like a goodie bag, right? And I go to an Everyone Active. So if Everyone Active, you're listening, I need you to pay attention here. They're like, here's a goodie bag. It's got electrolytes in it. I was like, oh,
yeah,
cool. All right.
yeah,
Took the bag. And then she went, I'll come back because it's your birthday. You can have two. And I was like, cool. Thank you. Came home, emptied the bag. There's energy gummies, which are basically strawberry flavored sugar
yeah,
in these packets. I was like, they're crap. Bin.
yeah,
A can of this Jim Bro alcohol. I don't know, like beer can. I don't know what that is. And I'm like, why are you putting this in a gym giveaway bin? I'm going through all these crap gummies that they've got in there. I'm like, where are these fucking electrolytes? I found the
yeah,
electrolytes, Gatorade electrolytes. And I shit you not, from the top of my screen to the bottom of my screen is the ingredients, right?
yeah,
So I've got that Yucca app, right? So I scanned it
yeah,
with the
yeah,
Yucca app and it was like, score was like 10,
red, red.
all red and oranges. I was like, what is this shit? When I went back in there, I spoke to managers I was like, you cannot be giving out that stuff. I was like, free bag or not. I was like, are you trying to make people diabetic? I was like, what are you doing? I said, you're a gym.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they're our sponsors. I said, well, they bloody shouldn't be. I said, Gatorade shouldn't be anybody's bloody sponsor. They're owned by Coca-Cola, for crying out loud.
yeah.
I said, you've
It's
put an
like,
alcoholic drink in the bag. Oh, no, it was
yeah,
non-alcoholic. I said, it's still beer, bruv. I was like, what are you doing? I said, and the rest of them are gummies. I said, you may as well just get sugar and give somebody a bag of caster sugar and a spoon and go, here you go. I was like, this
ah,
is fucking shocking. I said, you're a
yeah,
gym.
yeah.
I said, at least put protein bars in there, at least hide some of it. The only thing that was in there that was usable was a one tea bag of pucker tea.
Yeah. I
That was
think
it.
it's a bit like in the UK and in the US. The US is bad, but like the American Heart Foundation, the biggest sponsors were Pepsi Cola, wasn't it? And over in the UK here, it's P&G,
It's just
these big
ironic.
corporations. But that's the sad truth, isn't it? There's a photo of me. So I look,
There you go.
you
Yeah.
see that? I was very inflamed. Like I was very like, yeah, very different to what I was now.
Oh my God, yeah.
I
You
look
look old.
older,
You
and
look older.
especially my yeah, because obviously we've done certain courses on eyes, like the eyes, guys. Just before I go down a rabbit hole, you can tell a lot about someone's eyes and postural issues and
Iridology.
imbalances in the brain. Yeah, my left eye, bit like the sloth.
Yeah, that dodgy man
There
screaming,
you go.
baby Ruth.
You can see, like, wow, I had like posture issues. Interesting, a back injury as well. Yeah, all these things you pick up, right? But
Crazy, dude.
yeah, that was 2018. Very bloated and
Yeah,
inflamed.
man. Totally.
Sunburn every year. Look,
Yeah.
got the sunburn.
Got the classic British tan line.
Yeah, how funny, isn't it? Like, it's so interesting all this. But yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. But hey, it's all right, bro. If it fits your
If it
macros.
fits your macros. So, do you know what? I
Yeah,
have to say this, right? So I had somebody message me about this the other day. And he sent me this Instagram post by this influencer, right? And this guy's like, post-workout, I think it was post-workout, he's like, 250 grams of Kellogg's cornflakes, half a pint of semi-skimmed milk. And and he says something about, there's nothing wrong with semi-skimmed milk over raw milk. There's no difference. And so this guy messages me, right? And he goes, this main influencer, blah, 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 blah. You know, he says there's nothing wrong with semi-skimmed milk. And I was like, mate, I was like, right. I was like, let's just put this into perspective. You are taking advice from a guy who was eating a cereal that was invented to stop men masturbating. Cornflakes, number one. Number two, he is arguing the toss between semi-skimmed milk and raw milk. Well, yeah, there's no difference. Yes, there fucking is. I was like, hence the reason why raw milk you cannot buy from a supermarket and semi-skimmed you can. Otherwise, you'd be able to buy raw milk from a supermarket. I said, raw milk is unpasteurized, unhomogenized. It doesn't break down the fat molecules inside the milk, which means you get all the soluble fat vitamins from that.
Yeah.
It doesn't get rid of all the beneficial bacteria, which helps your body, the immunoglobulins and all that other type of stuff. It is exactly how it comes out of the animal, which is how we would have drunk it back in the day. And if it was that dangerous, then I think the human race would have been extinct by now. I said, but you're arguing the case over something that's formed naturally, which contains goodness and bone morphic factors and other things like that, over a factory processed version. That's like saying there's nothing wrong with what's that meat company that Bill Gates made?
Beyond Meat.
That's
Beyond
it.
Meat.
There's Beyond Meat. There's no difference between Beyond Meat and meat. They both look like burgers. Yeah, but the only ingredient in meat is meat, bruv. Like, there's a very stark difference between that and that. Like, they're not even the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't get my head around the argument as to for what this influencer was trying to say. It's like, if you've got access to raw milk and you buy it and you drink it, that's far better than semi-skimmed. And if you can't get that and semi-skimmed is all that you can get, fine, there's no harm in that either, but you're not getting the benefits from semi-skimmed as what you get from raw. I'm sorry, but there's a reason why the dairy industry is the one that publishes these studies on raw milk. It's because they don't want you drinking raw milk. They want you to be drinking that processed stuff. And I couldn't understand what this influencer's argument was when he's eating things like cornflakes. I just didn't understand.
The issue is, Mark, and I was one of those for a long time before I found the whole functional health route back in 2021, 22, is it's sort of going back to tribal mentality, isn't it? Like, you don't want to be the kid at the table eating a salad whilst everyone else is eating pizza and junk food. It's going back to that. It's not being part of the tribe, isn't it? So if you dare oppose someone else's views, you know, because that's been the narrative for so long, and we can see it in Christ, when I got qualified as a personal trainer early in 2012 and doing nutrition courses, and you look at like, oh, who's funding the studies of this? Oh, it's the American Beverage Association. It's P&G. It's Big Food that are publishing these studies. Of course, they're gonna put these in and pump them in to sort of almost brainwash you. And that's partly why I didn't go and do, you know, nutritional and dietetics at a university, because of the same reasons. It's like, what is the core syllabus? Like, what are we being taught? So if all you knew was like, if it fits your macros, and we can see that calories are the only thing that matters for health, and they are important, but you know, there's a whole different side of the argument to that, as we know. And Christ, I don't think we should go and open Pandora's box with the whole quantum piece, because that still blows my fucking brains, all that, you know, seasonal eating, location and light environment. Like, it's that sort of meme, isn't it? Where like,
well, that picture of that woman with all the square roots around her head.
Yeah, I was thinking Matthew McConaughey was smoking that for cigarette with all the numbers, like just googling stuff and going down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Bit like what's going on now, the Epstein files. Just drop that one in.
Oh, mate. Well, I dropped Bill Gates earlier, so it's a nice segue, right? It's a nice segue. We can go into this now because
yeah.
And again, right. I don't want to say this because, you know, it makes us sound a little bit kind of patronizing, but we've covered everything so far, which was back then considered a conspiracy theory. And yet now,
Yeah.
within the last 48, 72 hours, has all come out as basically gold. Like every conspiracy theory through COVID, every conspiracy theory post COVID has all come out to be true. And thank you to Epstein's documents being released, it's not only just proven those things, that the WHO admitted that COVID was a lockdown test to see basically the stupidity of mankind, to see what they could get you to do with
Yeah.
this fake narrative. It's now come out showing that Epstein and Bill Gates were planning tests of a lockdown situation multiple times, and how Bill Gates has basically got his fat thumbs in many dodgy satanistic things that he shouldn't be doing, to the point where his ex-wife's come out going, yep, he should be dragged in front of a tribunal and should be called under oath, which is what they're going to do. Thank God, because that guy literally just needs to be put in a stockade for the rest of his life. He shouldn't ever be able to like live a normal life. He's a horrible human being. But it's also bringing out other people that have had themselves in quite high regard. Like, I was quite stunned to see that Peter Attia, of all people, was dragged
Yeah.
in through the whole Epstein file as well. So, you know, I don't want to monopolize this conversation, Joe. So I would love, because you know how strongly I feel about all of this stuff. So I would love to hear your thoughts on the Pandora's box, which has basically just been opened.
Yeah, I think, well, go backtrack a bit. So we were sort of talking about this in 2023. If you've not been living under a rock, you know, you had been aware of it, but it was true, right? Even the cloud seeding that we had, all that, like these people have got,
Chemtrails.
you know, big investments in blocking the sun. You can still see it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know, we look out every day and see it. Um, Even the recent snowfall as well
God.
that we had here. Um, just to sidetrack a little bit, did a bit of an experiment where I'm part of a funky group, guys. We all wear tinfoil hats while we do this, and I melted the snow didn't melt; it went black and smelled like plastic. So that was interesting. But where am I going with this? So, yeah,
So the
chemtrails.
geoengineering, chemtrails, snow,
Yeah,
weather
yeah,
manipulation,
everything.
COVID,
So,
the
yeah,
vaccines.
yeah. So all of this has come to light. I don't know the full context of it because I had the same conversation with a client the other day about the Beckhams, right? I love David Beckham, always have done. But that recent story and article with his son coming out on stories and blah, 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 it's like, what do you think to that? I'm like, I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a flying fuck about that because there are bigger problems that we should be, you know, in our own lives that we should be focused on. And I feel like this release of these files, as shocking as they may be, and it's highlighted to me just what I already knew, right? Like the whole world is run by fucking corrupted, sick
Satanic,
people. Yes,
child-eating pedos.
yeah, it is. It is. It is messed up, and we've become numb to it. We just accept it. That's the worrying thing, and it should worry us. It should, you know, but it should force us to go right. We I do not want to comply with this stuff anymore. This fucking, you know, game that we've all been playing. So you do need to take control of your own mind and fortitude your moat, as we talked about before Christmas. Focus on the most important people that matter in your life, which is your family and your closest friends. Really, really prioritize your health this year,
Hmm.
and be very, very, I think, in the middle, poised of it all. You know,
Yep.
because it's going to sling left, it's going to sling right, white. Sound like Jonathan Wass. Sling left, sling right. Okay, so I think we should really dial in and focus on ourselves
Hmm.
without sounding selfish. Because if we channel energy into ourselves and the things that matter the most, because I noticed this with myself, sadly, over December, the algorithm will show me a lot of like political things that are going on right now with our government, and it can make you very divided, very angry, like, and you slip from being in this energy frequency of just, you know, enlightenment to positivity to very easily
Hmm.
negative, sour, bitter. You know, what's the point? Angry.
Hmm.
And guess what? When you start slipping down with these sort of emotions that you are dealing with every single day, you attract them as
Pushing you.
well.
Hmm.
and it creates more conversation, and then the algorithm is pumping more shit out. It's only taking me now to realize, like, and having conversations with my wife, like, yeah, I have been a bit distracted. I
Mhm.
have been not present and focused on the things that matter. I haven't taken a breath and do the things that actually keep you balanced and poised.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's how I feel about it.
No, dude, I agree with
Big
you. I agree with you.
distraction.
I agree with
It's
you.
cup and ball.
Yeah.
Where's the
Yeah,
ball? Follow the
distraction.
ball.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about that. Just keep your eye on the ball. The ball's not fucking there, is it? It's yeah. That's kind of like
I agree with
where
you. I agree with you. And I think the way that I kind of, because there are still people in my life that watch the normal news and stuff like that.
yeah,
And I'm like, look, you're watching a program on a television.
yeah.
Like you can't get more
Program,
program
program.
television. You can't get more blatant and obvious programming than that. It's a television. They could have called it anything. They could have called it a magic box, but a television, and it's called a program. So be mindful of the things that you allow in. And this is why, and again, people have mentioned this to me, like, oh, you shouldn't be getting your news from there. I'm like, well, it's the only place which I trust, and that is X. X is the only place that I trust that, not all at all, but I specifically follow a set group of people. They all oppose each other. So one's got a different argument to the other. And the reason why I've done that is because I want to have a polarization. I want to see what both sides are saying. Not that I agree
Yeah,
with either, but I want to know what their thought process is behind why they say what they say.
yeah,
But what I've noted the most on X recently is these polarizations have got closer and closer. And since these Epstein files have been released, they now align completely. That guy who was disagreeing with this woman, well, now they agree with each other. They're like, knew it. This explains so many things. And then because these guys are like uber clever, like scientists or Renaissance people or literally like just Elon Musk style brains, they're giving the real thought process behind it and how they break it down. And you've
mm,
now got these climate guys coming out going, knew it was bullshit, knew it was bullshit, knew it was bullshit. I knew Peter Thiel was this, I knew Epstein was that, and blah 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 blah. But what this dichotomy of options is giving me is my ability to critically think and make
yes,
my own decision based on what
mm,
I've seen, experienced, and thought about these things for myself. I'm not letting them make my decision for me. They are informing me on the gaps that I have in my knowledge and allowing me to form my own thought process behind all of these things. Now, luckily, a lot of the things that are coming out we've already discussed.
yeah,
And all it's done is it's literally pinned the tail on the donkey and gone, there we go. That's that. And I get that, which is beautiful because it's just a nice confirmation that we weren't wrong. There was something else going on. But at that same time, just like you've said, I'm also in the back of my mind very aware that distraction happens for a reason.
yeah,
And as you say, it's the magician who's stealing your watch while he's doing a card trick over here. There's a reason why there's a distraction there because as we always say, incentives dictate the outcomes. There's an incentive for why these documents got released, and there's an outcome that they're expecting.
mm,
So it's funny how a couple of British, quite high up parliamentary and royal people have been brought involved in all of this,
mm,
while the UK government has just basically been binned by King Charles saying you are not doing digital ID, but
mm,
they're also now trying to roll out these 15-minute cities everywhere.
yeah,
So when these files get released, this is now all the media talks about. These 15-minute cities get
yeah,
pushed to one side. And while we're over here going, outrage, outrage, on them, they're building these cities and they're putting up
yeah,
barricades and they're stopping you travel and da 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 da. Da. So it's that kind of distraction. That's what my mind goes to. I'm like, okay, but why? Why have these things come out now? Why is now the relevant timing for this to happen?
yeah. I think
Why are
yeah,
they linking like,
certain bills are being certain legislation is being
yeah,
pushed through, isn't it? Especially for
well,
health. I've noticed last year. Do you remember we talked briefly on when I went to it was BBC Radio 2 in the park, and I ordered just some beef brisket, which was made locally. And I'll bring this up so if people are watching this, you can have a look. But they had a new requirement as a food vendor: food carbon labels. So if you can see that, guys.
Yep. So for those who are listening, he's showing us a picture of a food carbon label that was on a food stand at the radio show. And it says all of our menus are carbon something
Shall I read it out?
calculated.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
go
read
on.
it out. Yeah. So all of our menus are carbon calculated, helping you to understand the carbon footprint of your food and to make sustainable choices about what you eat. I love that word. Throw in again, marketing, sustainable choices. So again, these carbon labels indicate the greenhouse gas emissions, which again is complete bullshit, of menu options with a traffic light system ranging from green for very low, A, to red, very high, E, and aligned to planetary boundaries. So this is from a company called Food Steps. I'll pull that up in a minute. But here's the batshit thing, guys. So that local beef that we know is highly nutritious, that was made slow cooked. It was delicious. Had it with like cold slaw, and oh, it was amazing. The one that made me laugh, that was voted a energy rate, so carbon like D/E
What?
label. Yeah, wait for it. But the plant-based, right? The plant-based avocados and
Which comes
jackfruit
from monocrops. Yeah.
shipped from bloody Peru and then warehoused in America and shipped over and flown over and processed, done more bloody air miles than that local beef. That was voted an A.
Shock.
Make that make sense. So yeah, here we go. So food steps are basically supply chain emissions. So this is all interesting now, isn't it? So yeah, up to 95% of a food business carbon footprint comes from the food and beverage supply chain. So I get it. Like they're making these companies more, accountable. We've got on here like Sky and KFC, ZZ's, and Food Excelled. Interestingly, that Wild Farm, which are regeneratively farmed flour, that's on there. They're all getting bought up, aren't they? Yeah, but why are we seeing this now? Because
Yep.
it's the new plan,
Yep.
net zero.
Yep.
This
Which is
what's
again a
going
pile of
on.
shit. It's just a pile of shit to stop you eating meat because they know if you stop eating all this stuff, you're going to get sicker.
Yeah, carbon labeling. It will happen soon, and you
Bloody
won't be
won't.
allowed to, and I won't be compliant. I hope
I
you
won't be
listeners
compliant.
won't.
Tell me what I can fucking eat.
You can tell me what I can eat. Oh, that bug,
I'll tell them what they can eat. And this is the
bug
funny
meal
thing,
one.
right? This is the funny thing. Sorry, Joe, to interrupt. So for guys, just to get your head around this, right? Do you think the king is sat there with his category A avocado flown for Peru saying, oh, no, I won't eat beef because it's a D? Of course he's fucking not. He's sat there with his venison and his duck and his
Shot on the
goose.
sanding of a
Do
steak.
you know what I mean? Exactly. Do you think these guys eat the same? Do you think the king or Nobed Starmer goes to fucking Waitrose or Asda's or Sainsbury's shopping? Are you mad? Of course they don't. They don't eat that crap. Why would they? They'd get their stuff freshly delivered from farms. They'll be having their meats and all that kind of stuff. It comes down to one thing. The way that they currently farm, which is not regenerative, means that there is not many crop cycles left, which means that the food supply will be less, and they want it for them, not the muggles, not the what do they call us? The useless meat eaters, not us, them. It's the same when it comes to money, gold, silver, all resources. They don't want us to have it. They want them to have it. And they're going to give us this lab-made, insect-blended, fake meat crap because
3D
that's
printed
3D
steak.
printed. Yeah, here's an ear, here's an organ, here's a mouse with an ear on it. Like, that's why it's happening. It's about a shift of resources because they know the way that they live their lives, it's not sustainable. And they know that if we all go regenerative, then it will be sustainable. And now they can't keep the world's population level at a level which enables them to have control. That's the problem. The world is big enough to contain 8 billion people, more than enough. But they don't want to share the resources. They really don't. They want it all for themselves. and they want to be able to control all of it. This is why the week before, the week before Bitcoin gets announced as like having Jeffrey Epstein as one of its initial founders or something like that, the week prior, all of a sudden, the dollar starts to crash because they're trying to bring in a cashless society. So they're trying to weaken the dollar. And
Yeah.
then Daniel Pena comes out saying, if you lot knew who founded Bitcoin, you wouldn't put your money into it because once it comes out, it will drop to zero. Interesting. So you're trying to collapse Bitcoin and the dollar at the same time. Why might that be then? Resources. Because
Yeah.
again, they don't want us to have power. They don't want us to have control because there's more of us than there are of them. And if we all stopped bickering and we all stopped arguing over our differences and realized we have more in common than we don't, and we all bound together and said, do you know what, people that rule this fucking planet? Fuck you. Who are you to tell me where I can go, what I can do, what I can eat, what I can't eat, how much I can spend, what I can't spend, where I can shop, where I can't shop, how many kids I can fucking have, what car I can drive, how far I can drive my car before I've got a fine and I've got to pay you to go and see my mum for the 101st time because you only allow me 100 visits a year.
Yeah. It's bullshit, isn't it?
Bullshit. Yeah. Imagine if you drive in the UK for your living, right? And you've got to travel an hour to get to your job and they say, well, I'm sorry, but you've only got 100 trips a year. Oh, well, thank you. Bye-bye job. What are you going to do? Oh, you can catch the train. Yeah, but no trains go there. Well, you can walk then.
Yeah. The
Do you know
trains
what I
aren't
mean?
running because, everyone's on strike.
The reliable British train service. Yeah.
I'll get the
Sorry,
bus.
but there's a leaf on the line. There's at least a 7-day delay now. Oh, great.
Yeah.
£100 ticket, which is now delayed because there's a leaf on the line. Fantastic. And for people that aren't in the UK, I know I'm sounding like I'm joking, but trust me, I've been on trains where a leaf has been on the line and they've stopped the train. A leaf. I'm sorry, but it's a bloody leaf. Do you know what I mean? It's not they're trying to protect it. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Anyway, tangent over.
Yeah.
But I would love to know, dude, I have to say, I would love to know with all this stuff that's come out recently with the Bitcoin and Trump and Greenland and the Epstein files and everybody hunting after Elon Musk and Starmer wanting to take him down because of something naughty he said about him or whatever. Guys, comment, ask questions, please. We want to know what you think about this stuff. It's not just our opinions that matter. We want to hear what you have to say. Like, what do you think? Are we wrong? And if we are, why? Point us in that direction. If we're missing out some information, like it's important for us to learn as much as it is other people. And do you agree? If you do, great. Why are you agreeing? Do you think that we should all bind together and become one whole planet? Or do you think that we should all be divided and conquered, or as it's known as divide and controlled, which is the original translation?
Divide and control. Yeah.
Right?
No.
Like, it's important to know these things because this is a very critical time in human history. Like, you will look back on this one day and wish you had done something. If you haven't, if we don't do anything, you will. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Comment. Let us know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So any other tinfoil hat stuff you want to discuss, Joe?
I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to... You kind of dripped it out already, haven't you?
Kind of. What was I going to discuss? I can't remember now.
I believe it was to do with Bitcoin. So we've covered bread. We've covered...
There's one other with bread. I don't know if you know this, but you know Jason's bread company?
Yes.
Right. So they've been all over Instagram recently because apparently they are like the purest, cleanest, 3-ingredient only sourdough bread that you can buy.
Yeah.
Somebody in the government has passed a law where they're now going to have to put fortified wheat into all bread products. And this contains, it's an ingredient beginning with P. Can't remember what it is, but I know it's linked to neurological issues and other things like that. And Jason's have added it to their label, but they haven't changed how they promote their product. And when I don't know whether it was an influencer or a journalist asked them to tell them what was in their fortified or fermented wheat flour, they have refused 4 times to tell them what's in it. So there is... No, it's not folic acid. It begins with a P. No. Can't remember what it is, but it's only in fortified wheat. I could pull up the Instagram thing because I had it sent to me the other day, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, have a quick look because we can always... We know. Let's have
But
a
it's
little look.
shocking, dude. Like
Yeah.
the
More
government
trans.
coming out saying that they have to have this now. It's like,
More
why have you got to
fuckery is
put it in
afoot.
there?
Fuckery is afoot, my friends.
Exactly. Who sent that to me?
You
That's the
all need
question.
to get on the
Well, I'm going to mute myself for 1 second.
Sure. Well, I will just take over. So, if that's the case, more reasons to buy local produce and know where know your farmer, know where your food's coming from. Support local markets. I've got a very good book which I'd recommend looking into, the UK's best bakeries. So, getting an idea where your food's coming from, supporting local bakeries, because these are the guys you should be supporting. These are the guys that you should be asking these questions about, and not just handing over your money, going to supermarkets and going in there and, oh, I'm going to buy Jason sourdough bread or
Hmm.
Warburton's. No, you need to buy good quality real
Yep.
bread. But Mark, have you found it?
Propionic acid.
Oh,
It makes it
okay,
last longer. So proprionic. So proprionic acid.
okay. A little look. So what have you
And
found?
it's fermented flour, fermented wheat flour. It now all fermented wheat flour, thanks to the government, now has to contain this propionic acid.
Oh, interesting.
So it'd be what it's
Oh
like.
yeah, here we
What?
go. So
Yeah,
new
go on.
UK legislation mandates fortifying flour with folic acid to protect newborns. Oh,
Not that one. Let me have a look.
yeah, have a little look. We're having a little Google, guys. So if you are with us still, go grab a cup of tea.
Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat 10-minute takeover, where we're about to unravel the secrets and myths that the health and fitness industry doesn't want you to know. Mark and Joey will be exposing the shocking studies and revealing the unspoken truths that will challenge your perception of health and well-being. So get ready for a mind-bending journey as they shed light on the hidden facts, debunk the myths, and question the status quo. It's time to trade in your tinfoil hat for the wisdom and knowledge you've been missing. Buckle up for the Tinfoil Hat Takeover.
You got it, Mark?
It's a metabolic disruptor, and in rare genetic disorders, propionic acidemia, accumulation of propionyl CoA or CoA, and derivatives like methyl citrate in mitochondria is toxic to liver cells and impairs the Krebs cycle, the TCA cycle. That is important for ATP production, energy production. So that is what it does. Metabolic disruptor and toxic to liver cells and impairing the TCA cycle. That has now been governmentally enforced to be added to all breads.
From when? What month and what date?
Now, recently, literally the last couple of weeks.
Great. So
Yep.
imminently then.
Yep, it's what it's as of now. All breads in supermarkets now have that in there. The only one who hasn't done that yet is Waitrose's own bread. They're the only ones that haven't done it.
Whew, okay, so for those who may be worth learning how to make bread, I remember doing it long time ago. I know it's not
Sourdough
hard.
starter. Done.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
But
just don't
also,
eat bread.
is that wheat? So like, is that fortified wheat flour that's milled in the UK?
Yeah, any UK company that's making bread has to add that in there now.
So we should be looking to possibly import from countries like Italy and France then,
Potentially.
because their food laws are very different. And they're
Well,
very,
I know Italy is 100%.
yeah, they are on it, aren't they?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
their food laws, they've got durum wheat and ancient grains that haven't been genetically modified at all.
Yeah,
I hear all the time.
yeah,
I've got
they've actually got a very specific version of wheat that they use in their flours, which actually doesn't contain the same gluten as what's in our wheat.
And I've had these discussions with my best mate who works in the agriculture sector, especially with big chemical, and they're sort of growing genetically modified products all the time, pushing them into the UK. He was the one who told me about the
chalk
batteries, not the chalk,
batteries.
yeah, alkaline decomposing batteries to sort the zinc crisis out. Oh, not because we've sprayed it to fucking death and the soil was eroded. from you fuckers anyway, selling us this product because that's, you know, what we've been told to do, and the fucking beat goes on and on and on. We're now going to be finding a solution with more toxic shit. What are the implications? What are the studies? But they all push this shit through. And this,
Yes, they do.
again, going back to the whole release these files and the cup and ball and watch this magic trick whilst I steal your watch. We've more reason to fucking start understanding where your food comes from. Look at where it's being grown, what they're feeding. Because, you know, we're not just what the animal and what our fish consume. We are what they consume.
Yep.
What
I think
are they being fed?
The compounding thought that I had, well, not compounding, the surprising thought I had the other night is, if I could go back to like my nan's generation and said to her,
Yeah.
like, look, Nan, by the time that I'm 45, some of the biggest billionaire or billion-pound industries in the world will be how to teach humans how to eat, how to cook, how to sleep, how to exercise and move, and how to calm their mind, and basically do nothing. My nan's quite blunt. She was. Should have been like, fuck off. Should have been like that Nan character, Annie Tate, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
What a
yeah.
load of old shit. That's what that's what it should have been like. Should have just been like, fuck off. Really? Like, think about where we're at right now. We have to educate people how to eat real food,
Yeah.
how to cook real food, how to
Yeah.
sleep, how to exercise and move, and
Yeah.
how to calm their mind.
Yeah.
If that's not 4 alarming facts about billion-dollar industries, I don't know what is. Because where have we got? Like, with all this technology, I was actually going to have this conversation with ChatGPT the other day. And guys, I'd love to know if you do this, because I'm going to do this. Whether it's Grok or Chat, doesn't really matter who. If Rockefeller hadn't taken over the medical industry with petroleum industry, projected what, and we would have stayed more in touch with the earth and eaten natural foods and grown it ourselves, what would the health of us right now be? Would we have all of these chronic diseases like autism up like 400%, cardiovascular disease up like 670%? Would these be the trends? I would love to know what AI answers that question with, because it would shock me if it said it would be the same.
Bit of a blessing and a curse, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for health information at the minute. And I'm going to call people out. Having a recent discussion with a client who threw as a, I wonder if what would happen if I threw my blood results in a
Don't do that.
bot.
Don't do that.
And I had a massive go at this client because, one, you're throwing in medical data, your own personal data, personal lab results, and expecting an accurate diagnosis.
Yep.
You're a complete fool.
Yep.
And we know from the current research that it's very, like 40% of it is very inaccurate.
Yep. Oh, more than that.
When it comes to
Way more than that.
interpretation.
My
gives you very
mate,
generalized data, not nuances and patterns that we should be looking for, and ratios. This is why it's so important, guys. If you are doing this, you are a fool.
well, here's a quick example, guys. My friend went and had a cardiometabolic test done because he was worried about his heart.
Yeah.
Calcium score, injection fraction rate, the whole lot. He put he was waiting for me to give an answer, basically, and he put it into ChatGPT and he messaged me going, oh my God, I'm like in the top like 1% of cardiac arrests and blah, 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 blah. I've looked at his data and it read the wrong data. It put the wrong digits in the wrong places, which made him look like he was literally one breath away from a cardiac arrest. When you put it in the right order, he could not have a healthier heart. It's like you've gone from really healthy heart to cardiac arrest in 2 minutes from ChatGPT giving you the wrong data.
I think what's even worse is the ranges. We talked about this so many times in the podcast.
Doesn't know the ranges
that we use in functional ranges. A lot more up to date, guys. These ChatGPT models are very several models behind, but they're only a couple models behind. It'll be not long before they're up to date. I think we're still a long way from that. It's a language model, we know, but we are looking at ratios. We're looking at context. We're looking at functional ranges.
correlations.
correlations. So if you're putting your data for an accurate diagnosis and then supplementing on AI, you are going to damage your health even more.
Yep, I agree.
So please,
100%.
please do not do this.
Yep.
Please do not do this. And I know there's room for human error. Like we all hold up. Mark, when we first got into this, we've possibly made several errors in our lifetime. But this is through years of understanding and reading patterns.
There's so much
and looking at
nuance
the
to
trends.
this.
Yeah.
So much nuance to this. And the one
Yeah.
thing that ChatGPT doesn't know is you.
No.
It can't
No.
know you. It can't know your symptomologies and all those other things. Even if you input it, it doesn't know you like a human can know you. ChatGPT will never be a human soul touching another human soul. It just can't do that. No
Yeah.
AI can do that. You know, and
That's
it's
why-
freakishly scary how accurate, how this AI stuff is moving on.
Yeah.
That's for another podcast. I'm sorry, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now because we've already been
Yeah.
chatting an hour and 11. But
Yeah.
like, it's a way off of being able to do proper diagnostics without a diagnostician analyzing the diagnostics of the AI.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do that. You would need, like, if I put my data through ChatGPT, which I have done, and it spits out my results, I've got the knowledge to say, dude, you are way off the mark. That's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, and that's wrong. Where if you don't know what you're looking at, you can't objectively say to any AI, that's wrong. You're just going to take it verbatim, right?
Yeah, it cherry picks markers as
Of
well.
course.
So this client, his to give you context, and I don't want to disclose all of this personal data because for obvious reasons, but this particular client, he did have a very high hemoglobin count, but that could literally be so many different trends, and you're looking at literally one marker in isolation, which is the problem in this industry. It's like the whole cholesterol piece again. Not looking at cholesterol as a hormone. It's synthesized mainly in the liver.
It's the backbone for all hormones.
Yeah, inflammatory marker.
70% of it made in the human body.
But this
Crush
is
it.
This is it. And I can
Crush
see
it.
now why certain people in the medical field get issue. When a Karen sits in their office, I've got skin cancer. I looked on Google and ChatGPT told me this. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
So
No, have you
please
seen
don't do
your face
that.
recently? No. Well, that's a dirt mark. Like, yeah, it's not skin cancer, it's a dirt mark. Wash your face.
Yeah, yeah. So please don't do that, guys.
No,
'cause
please don't.
you're cherry picking data
Yep.
when in actual fact it could be anything. It could be like a deficiency,
Yep.
Hemoglobin's a carrier. It could
Yep.
be it could be nasty things like we could see like blood clotting, we can see all sorts of respiratory links there, kidney
Parasites.
issues. Yeah, but normally it's not what you think it is.
No, a lot of the time it's oxygenation. That's a lot of the time what it is. Or it can be some form of anemia. It can impact hemoglobin in a way, but a lot of the time it's just oxygenation because it's a red blood cell. Like if you just happen to be in a slightly low kind of oxygenated state when you have your bloods done,
Yeah,
that can
I
trigger
think
it
it's
out.
even client. Well, context, lifestyle matters. So you've got to add context to lifestyle. This client, has air conditioning.
Well, there we go then.
So you're not having good air quality as well.
Mhm.
Travels a lot.
Could be a
Yeah.
mouth breather.
Yeah, mouth breathing. Went on a holiday not long ago. I know I felt terrible from flying. For the poor airflow. God, I'd love to have done my blood work straight after the flight.
Yeah, I
trip.
never do that. Never. Never.
So yeah, but I think that's a nice way to end.
Yes.
To sort of round off.
Mm.
We talked about many different things, and I hope you've enjoyed the ride. But please, if you do like what we do, like, subscribe, share this podcast. We love, hype. Comment below as well your thoughts on all of the, discussions we've had today.
Yeah, and listen, we take nothing personally, so say what you want to say. It really doesn't matter. If you're rude, we just delete it.
It's healthy to have discussion.
If you don't like it, you just remove, just fine, you're blocked. No,
Yeah,
we're joking.
yeah.
We're joking. Say what you want to say. It's important that this information gets out there, and it's important that your information gets out there too. So share it, put it in the comments.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Let us know.
So, thank you guys, and we'll be back very soon.
We will be, guys. Stay blessed, Joey. Always a pleasure, my brother.
Thank you. See you guys.
See you later.